The Cadillac Gage Commando V100/G392 was initially adopted by the United States Army in the 1960s to fulfill the role of a light armored 4x4 scout vehicle. It underwent evaluation in June of 1962 and entered service in 1963. Since then, it has enjoyed a robust and enduring service life, being utilized by multiple operators and remaining in active use today, as of 2014, with numerous units. Over the years, the base chassis has served as the foundation for several notable variants, including the V150, V200, LAV300, and LAV600, with some SWAT police forces also procuring this type of vehicle. Powered by a Chrysler 361 Series 8-cylinder gasoline engine delivering 190 to 200 horsepower, the Commando shared its engine with the early fleet of M113 Armored Personnel Carriers, APCs, used by the U.S. Army at the time. This engine was paired with a 5-speed manual transmission system, with power distributed to all four wheels on a fully suspended hull spanning 2 axles. Equipped with large, run-flat, road wheels, the vehicle boasted high ground clearance, enabling it to navigate obstacles and ditches effectively, while achieving a maximum road speed of 62 miles per hour and a range of 400 miles. With an overall weight of 21,800 pounds and dimensions of 18.7 feet in length, 7.4 feet in width, and a height of 6.5 feet to the roofline, the Commando was compact enough for air and rail transport. It featured a heavy-duty powered winch system capable of hauling up to 10,000 pounds under the forward section of the hull. Additionally, the vehicle possessed inherent amphibious capabilities, requiring no prior preparation from the crew before entering water. Notably, the pilot vehicle sported angularly cut-out fenders, while production models featured rounded fender assemblies, making them easily distinguishable. Internally, the vehicle typically accommodated a crew of 3 but offered space for up to 5 occupants. The driver occupied the front left position of the whole superstructure, with access facilitated by roof hatches and side doors. The armor protection consisted of 0.25-inch thick alloy steel, while the power traverse turret could be fitted with various supported machine gun types or specialized combinations. Manufactured by Cadillac Gage, now Textron Marine and Land Systems, the company is renowned for its other projects, including the Landing Craft Air Cushion (LCAC) system for the U.S. Navy and the M117 Armored Security Vehicle for the U.S. Army. Initial procurement of the G392 by the U.S. Army occurred during 1963 to 1964, coinciding with increased American involvement in Vietnam. These early vehicles operated under the developmental designation of XM706, while the finalized form, featuring rounded fenders, was designated as the M706. The M706S differed from the XM706 by having slightly raised access hatches on the whole roof and lacking one of the side firing ports seen on the XM706 variant. During wartime operations, the M706 demonstrated its effectiveness. Its sloped armor provided fundamental protection against small arms fire, artillery shrapnel, and certain explosive threats such as RPGs and mines. The vehicle's high ground clearance enabled it to navigate varied terrain with ease, and its operational range was commendable. While the rear axle occasionally experienced issues due to the weight of the armored hull, these were manageable. The initial units were deployed to South Vietnam in 1963, where they served alongside both USAF and Army police units. Subsequently, in 1967, the U.S. Army received XM706 vehicles initially intended for the South Vietnamese Army. In 1968, the Army introduced its own version, designated as the XM706E1, which later evolved into the standard M706 model. Meanwhile, the United States Air Force preferred a specialized variant, the XM706E2, which replaced the turret with an open-air boxy superstructure. Despite maintaining the same dimensions, this variant boasted a reduced operational weight by several hundred pounds. The Commando's whole superstructure offered versatility, accommodating a 0.30 caliber /7.62 mm machine gun, a 0.50 caliber machine gun, or a combination of both as needed. Specialized versions expanded this capability to include a turreted 90 mm gun, a 20 mm autocannon, or surface-to-air missiles. The V200 model, though featuring extended dimensions, closely resembled the V100 model line in most aspects. Developed at the request of Singapore, it has been utilized in armored scouting, security roles, and adapted for mobile surface-to-air missile launching platforms. Contrary to its designation, the V-150 arrived after the introduction of the V-200 model and served as a transitional model between the original V-100 and subsequent V-200. Developed for Saudi Arabia, these vehicles could be equipped with either a basic diesel engine or a gasoline-fueled alternative, depending on requirements. Despite their deployment in the 1991 Gulf War, they achieved limited success. The LAV-300 expanded on the capabilities of the V-100 by adopting a 6x6 wheeled design with a lengthened chassis. Introduced in 1979, it featured a 90mm turreted main gun and a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun. Powered by a Cummins 6CTA diesel turbocharged engine, it achieved speeds of 65 miles per hour and boasted ranges of up to 575 miles. The LAV-300 line comprised 15 subvariants and maintained air transportability. Limited users included Kuwait, the Philippines, and Panama. A further development, the LAV-600 retained the 6x6 wheeled configuration but was designed to be heavier. It mounted a turreted 105mm main gun, a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun, and an additional 7.62mm machine gun for air defense. Introduced in 1986, it offered a valuable tank-killing capability during the Cold War era and was adopted by the United States, the Philippines, and Thailand. A variant stemming from the Vietnam War-era XM706, V-100, featured the General Electric 7.62mm XM134 minigun Gatling system housed in an enclosed turret atop the hull roof. This turret provided an unobstructed field of fire from a protected position, with the Commando hull carrying up to 3,000 rounds for the weapon. Weighing 130 pounds, the XM134 was capable of firing between 500 to 6,000 rounds per minute and was powered by an accompanying electrical supply unit. The V-100 line gained popularity, with operators in approximately 35 countries, ranging from Bolivia and Botswana to Taiwan and Thailand. It was eventually succeeded in U.S. Army service by the M1117 Armored Security Vehicle, ASV.